What's up, YouTube? You already know it's your favorite bean eating mofo, fresh off the banana boat. Big Lou tapping on in with what it do with Big Lou, baby, baby. Again, y'all know the spiel. If it's the first time you're coming to this channel, at what it do with Big Lou NFZR2, it'd be highly appreciated if you sub, like, and share the channel with your family, friends, gente, peoples, folks, buddies, camaradas, comrades, associates, socios, however you state it. Be sure to share. Also, comment, and I respond back to all comments. So as you guys, well, if you guys watched it, a bit ago I came on, did a live about the Showtime Lakers of the 80s, right? And since I'm busting down these series of profiles for, I got 20 baseball players, 20 basketball players, 20 football players, 20 boxers, and 20 pro wrestlers that I'm going to be doing profiles on. That's quite a bit. So what I've been trying to do is, as in the last one, was Magic Johnson, James Worthy, and Kareem Jabbar. They were all Lakers, so it was easier to find a thumbnail with them all together and then doing a profile about all of them at once. As you see this thumbnail, Quick Vic, what's happening? As you can see on this one is Jordan, Olajuwon, and Barkley. They all came out in 1984, 84 draft. Olajuwon was the first pick overall. Michael Jordan was the third pick overall, and Charles Barkley was the fifth pick overall. It was easy to find stuff with them all together. You know what I'm saying? And I already did 2 baseball profiles. The first one was about Don Mattingly, George Brett, and Wade Boggs. Second baseball profile was Dave Winfield, Kirby Puckett. And then my first football one was Marcus Allen, Howie Long. And then I did Phil Simms, Lawrence Taylor. And now today was the first 2 basketball profiles. So I'm trying to mix it up for everybody, you know what I'm saying? And again, people remember this is just, I'm going back to 84, at least 84. I know I'm saying the decades of the 80s, but for guys like these 3 that are on this thumbnail, they got drafted in 84. Tony Gwynn was drafted in 84. So I'm at least going from 84 to 89, 1990. Really, it's when I started getting into baseball, football, basketball, which is around that time, 84, 85-ish. So basically, I'm just taking it back to guys that came to my mind from a kid when I did when I wrote down the names. There ain't no, in the first, this is basketball. There's no LeBron on my list. There's no Steph Curry. There's no Kevin Durant. There's no Shaq, Larry Johnson, Dikembe Mutombo, Jason Kidd, none of those guys, because like I said, at least 1984 to 89. So that's, Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan, Hakeem Olajuwon, Kareem, Magic, James Worthy, Tom Chambers, Kiki Vandeweghe, Dominique Wilkins, Clyde Drexler, Alex English, Mark Aguirre, those guys, okay? Wesley Mitchell, what's happening, man? So, like I said, Hakeem Olajuwon came out of the University of Houston, and then he was drafted by the Houston Rockets. Michael Jordan came out of the University of North Carolina. He was drafted by the Bulls. And Barkley came out of Auburn, and he was drafted by the 76ers. All 3 NBA greats, all 3 legends, not only at their position, but overall. Michael Jordan, I had mentioned this earlier, Michael Jordan and Hakeem Olajuwon were for a while, until Giannis just did it a couple years back, were the only 2 guys to have a regular season MVP, a defensive player of the year, and a finals MVP in the same season. It was Olajuwon and Jordan. And now, like I said, Giannis just did it in a couple years back. And then also Hakeem Olajuwon is one of 4 guys to record a quadruple double, which means they scored over 10 points. They grabbed over 10 rebounds. They had over 10 assists. And then the last one could be either blocks or steals. So they had at least 10, 10, 10, and 10, right? And that's Hakeem Olajuwon, David Robinson, Nate Thurman, Warrior. Shout out to a Warrior. And Alvin Robertson. And Alvin Robinson also was drafted in 1984. So it's a big question all the time is what draft class NBA, and it usually boils down to 3 draft classes. 1984 or 1996, which was Kobe Bryant, Allen Iverson, Marcus Camby, Ray Allen, Antoine Walker, Walter McCarty. There was a lot of guys that got drafted in 96. Jermaine O'Neal, or 2003, which is LeBron, Carmelo, Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh. You know what I mean? So I think 96 got the more depth, the more guys that are like known names that were decent players. Some of them had some good seasons, pretty good seasons. They're not all champion, they didn't all win championships and they weren't all considered great. But there's a lot more recognizable names in my book in the 96 draft. But just because Jordan, Barkley, and Olajuwon is, the first 3 of the first 5 picks, Jordan is obviously a lot of people's GOAT of basketball, the greatest basketball player ever. Me, I have Kareem number 1, excuse me. I have Michael Jordan second. But 2 guys that are just, great players, right? So I'm gonna go ahead. This ain't gonna be a very long video, but my mom let me know she made it home, so she lives out of town. So I want to at least respond back to her. Sorry about that, peoples. Okay, so let's go with Michael Jordan, right? So he was born Michael Jeffrey Jordan on February 17, 1963, right? Now, we already know he's an ex-basketball player, but now he's also a NBA franchise owner. He owns the Hornets, right? So he's born February 17, 1963 in Brooklyn, New York, but he's raised in North Carolina. 6'6", about 215 pounds. He went to Elmsley A. Laney High School in in Wilmington, North Carolina. As we already know, he went to the University of North Carolina Tar Heels from 1981 and 1984. First round, 3rd pick overall, like I mentioned, 84 draft, selected by the Bulls, right? He played from 1984 to 1993, and then 95 to 98, and then he came back from 2001, 2002, 2003. He's a shooting guard. He wore 23, he wore 12, and he wore 45, right? So here's some of his highlights, right? 6-time NBA champion, 91, 92, 93. Second three-peat, 96, 97, 98. 6-time NBA Finals MVP, 91, 92, 93. 96, 97, 98. 5-time NBA MVP, 88, 91, 92, 96, 98. 14-time NBA All-Star, 1985 to 1993, 96, 97, 98, 2002, 2003. 3-time NBA All-Star MVP, 88, 96, and 98. 10-time All-NBA First Team, 87 through 93, 96, 97, 98. All-NBA Second Team, 1985. NBA Defensive Player of the Year, 1988. Remember, that's what I would mention. 9-time All-NBA First Team Defense, 1988 through 93, 96, 97, 98. NBA Rookie of the Year, 1985. NBA All-Rookie First Team, 85. 10-time NBA Scoring Champion, 1987 through 93, 96, 97, 98. 3-time NBA Steal Leader, 1988, 1990, 1993. 2-time NBA Slam Dunk Champion, 87, 88. His number 23 is retired by the Bulls and retired by the Heat. I don't know why it's retired by the Heat. 3-time AP Athlete of the Year, 91, 92, 93. Sports Illustrated Sports Person of the Year, 91. 2-time IBM Award, 95, 85, and 89, NBA Anniversary Team, 50th team and the 75th team. He's a college champion in 1982, National College Player of the Year in 84, 2-time consensus first team All-American, 84, 85, ACC Player of the Year, 84. Two-time first-team All-ACC, 83, 84. ACC Rookie of the Year, 82. Number 23 retired by the Tar Heels. I wonder why his 23 is retired by the Heat. I never knew that. I mean, why? Two-time USA Men's Athlete of the Year, 83 and 84. McDonald's All-American, 81. First-team Parade All-American, 81. Presidential Medal of Freedom, 2016. Okay, here's some of his stats. This is for his career. 32,292 points for an average of 30 points a game. 6,672 rebounds for an average of 6.2 a game. And 5,633 assists for an average of 5.3. He's in the Hall of Fame as a player, and he's a 4-time gold medalist. Yeah, I'm getting these cramps in my hand. Okay, so here we go. Jordan joined the Bulls in 84, third pick overall. We already spoke about that. Quickly emerged as a league star, entertaining crowds with his prolific scoring while gaining reputation as one of the game's best defensive players. A lot of people don't talk about that with Jordan. He's one of the greats at the defense end. Yeah, the centers like Kareem and all them, because the block shots and all that. But I think Michael Jordan gets passed on a lot. You know what I mean? When it comes to his defense, he was ferocious, and he would shut you down too most of the time, So if you were able to score 20 on Jordan, you were doing something. You know what I mean? Then you got to keep in mind back then in the 80s, the two guard, which is the shooting guard, which is his position. It was Michael Jordan, number one, obviously, and then second and third was. After 88 was Clyde Drexler and Mitch Richmond. But before that, it was Rolando Blackman and Mark Aguirre. But sometimes he would play small forward. But yeah, or Rolando Blackman. Clyde Drexler still was around. I think you got. I'm trying to think who else was a two guard back then. Well, you had guys like Gerald Wilkins. You had Joe Dumars, Reggie Miller. Well, Reggie Miller came out, I think, in 87, but Reggie Miller was around. You had those are really the ones I'm remembering right now. But those are probably the top guys. And then you had, Craig Elo, Dan Marley. They were a little bit later. You know what I mean? But probably Joe Dumars, like I said. Danny Ainge was a cutthroat type of dude. He played tough on you too. You know what I mean? But with Michael Jordan, if Clyde Drexler scored 20 on Michael Jordan, or Joe Dumars was able to put up 20 on him, they did their thing, but I'll tell you this, if they put up 20 against MJ, they probably shot the ball about 15, 20 times. You know what I mean? Or maybe even more, you know what I'm saying? Where even though they scored 20, it took them 20 shots to do that. You know what I'm saying? So it's a trip, right? So where am I at? Okay, his leaping ability demonstrated by performing slam dunks from the free throw line and slam dunk contest earned his nickname Air Jordan and his airness. Jordan won his first NBA title with the Bulls in '91, and that was against Magic and them, right? I remember that. That was that shot where he went up with the right hand and then he reversed and he laid it up with the other hand. It could have been the left hand, but he said that he seen long arm Sam Perkins coming, and he thought he was going to block his shot, right? Keep in mind, Sam Perkins and Michael Jordan were teammates at North Carolina, so he kind of knew, he knew him better than most, put it that way, right? So that was 91. They won the first title and that followed with the achievement with the Bulls. They won two more, so that was their first three-peat. Securing a three-peat. Jordan abruptly retired from basketball before the 93-94 NBA season to play minor league baseball, and that's when he played for the White Sox, right? And that's when Hakeem Olajuwon, who was also on this profile, won 2 NBA championships while Jordan was out. But to tell you the truth, Jordan was out the first one. The second one, Jordan was playing, but I don't think Mike got back into playing shape yet all the way. But he was there when the Rockets won the second one. He was playing, but they got knocked out, I believe, by Orlando. And then Orlando went up against Houston in the finals, the second back-to-back for Olajuwon, and that's when they swept Orlando. And he played minor league baseball for the White Sox, right? But he returned to the Bulls in March of 95 and led them to 3 more championships, 96, 97, 98, and was well, and then as well as the 72-10 season, right? Which that was good all the way from 95, 96 season until 2016, 27 season when the Warriors went 73-10, but the Warriors unfortunately lost in the finals, so the Bulls won. They went 17-10 and then won the championship. So, that's it's not considered, really the season like the Warriors should have had if they won. They should have won the championship, and they didn't. So this 95-96 Bulls team, 72-10, still sticks out better as a better season. Obviously, they won the championship. He retired for the second time in January 99, but returned for 2 more NBA seasons from 01 to 03. That's when he was signed by the Washington Wizards. During the course of his professional career, he was also selected to play for the United States national team, winning 4 gold medals at the 83 Pan American Games, 84 Summer Olympics, 92 Tournament of the Americas, and 92 Summer League, which was the 92 Dream Team, Barcelona, Spain, 92 Olympics. That's when the greatest team ever assembled played together, because prior to that, the United States would only send their college players in. Okay, so Jordan's individual accolades, which I kind of already went over. I went over all these already. So I want to break down a little bit. Of what he did, right? So, like I already mentioned, he got drafted between Olajuwon first, or not between, excuse me. He got drafted after Olajuwon with the first pick and Sam Bowie with the second pick, right? Sam Bowie was drafted by Portland, and Sam Bowie ended up being a bust because he just couldn't stay healthy. I mean, he had terrible injuries too, jacked up injuries where it just messed up his whole career. You know what I mean? Jordan could have been picked by Portland, but they kind of passed on him because they didn't kind of pass. They did pass on him. They drafted Bowie because Clyde Drexler was there already. Also, Terry Porter was there. Right? Was a guard with similar skills to Jordan, right? So we know that. Okay, Jordan made his debut in Chicago on October 26, 1984. He scored 16 points. In 2021, a ticket stub from a game sold at an auction for $264,000, setting a record for a collectible ticket stub. During his NBA rookie season, 84-85 with the Bulls, he averaged 28 points a game on 51.5% shooting. He helped make a team that won 35% of the games in the previous 3 seasons playoff contenders. He quickly became a fan favorite, even in opposing arenas. Roy Johnson of the New York Times described him as a phenomenal rookie of the Bulls in November, and Jordan appeared on the cover of Sports Illustrated with the heading "Star is Born" in December. The fans also voted in Jordan as an all-star starter during his rookie season. Controversial arose before the 85 NBA All-Star game when word surfaced that several veteran players, led by Isaiah Thomas, were upset by the amount of attention Jordan was receiving. Yeah, you know what? Isaiah is one of the guys, too, on the NBA players, and I'm a profile. That wouldn't seem to amaze me. He did have a punk-ass attitude. You know what I'm saying? He had a haters type attitude. When the Bulls finally knocked him out, he encouraged the Pistons team to just walk out and not even tell these guys good game. That was a year that they won and beat the Lakers, the first championship. This led to a so-called freeze out on Jordan, where players refused to pass the ball to him throughout the game. The controversy left Jordan relatively unaffected when he returned to regular season play, and he would go on to be voted the NBA Rookie of the Year. The Bulls finished the season 38-44 and lost to the Bucks in 4 games in the first round of playoffs. Right? After often cited moment on August 26, 85, when Jordan shook the arena during a Nike exposition game in Italy by shattering the glass of the backboard with a dunk. The moment was filmed and is often referred to as the worldwide referred to worldwide as an important milestone in Jordan's rise. The shoes Jordan wore during the game were auctioned in August 2020 and sold for $615,000. Damn. So between a pair of shoes and a ticket was almost $1 million worth that they got for him in auction. That's crazy. A record for a pair of shoes. Jordan's 85-86 season was cut short when he broke his foot in the third game of the year, causing him to miss 64 games. The Bulls made the playoffs despite Jordan's injury in a 30-52 record. At the time, the fifth worst record of any team to qualify for the playoffs in NBA history. Jordan recovered in time to participate in the postseason and perform well upon his return against a Celtics team that is often considered one of the greatest in NBA history. Jordan set the still unbroken record for points in a playoff game with 63 in Game 2, but the Celtics managed to sweep the series. Yeah, that's when the Celtics were dominant back then. Jordan completely recovered in time for the 86-87 season and had one of the most prolific scoring seasons in NBA history. He became the only player other than Wilt Chamberlain to score 3,000 points in a season, averaging a league-high 37 points a game on 48% shooting. In addition, Jordan demonstrated his defensive prowess as he became the first player in NBA history to record 200 steals and 100 block shots in a season. Despite Jordan's success, Magic Johnson won the MVP. The Bulls reached 40 wins and advanced to the playoffs for the third consecutive years, but again were swept by the Celtics. Okay, 87-90. The so-called Pistons roadblock, right? Jordan again led the league in scoring during the 87-88 season, averaging 35 points a game on 53.5% shooting. And he won his first league MVP. He also was named the NBA Defensive Player of the Year as he averaged 1.6 blocks per game and a league high 3 steals per game. He led the Bulls defense to the fewest points per game allowed in the league. The Bulls finished 50-32, and they made out of the first round of playoffs for the first time in Jordan's career as they defeated the Cavaliers in 5 games. In the Eastern Conference semifinals, the Bulls lost in 5 games to the more experienced Pistons, were led by Isaiah Thomas and a group of physical players known as the Bad Boys. I remember that team. In 88-89 season, Jordan again led the league in scoring, averaging 32.5 points a game on 53.8 shooting from the field, along with 8 rebounds and 8 assists a game. During the season, Sam Vincent, Chicago's point guard, was having trouble running the offense, and Jordan expressed his frustration with head coach Doug Collins, who would put Jordan at point. In his time at point guard, Jordan averaged 10 triple-doubles in 11 games. Damn. With averaging 33.6 points a game, 11.4 rebounds a game, and 10.8 assists a game, 2.9 steals a game, and almost a block a game on 51% shooting. The Bulls finished 47-35 and advanced to the Eastern Conference Finals, defeating the Cavaliers and the Knicks along the way. The Cavaliers series included a career highlight from Jordan when he hit the shot over Craig Ehlo. So that's the one he hits it over the buzzer. He turns around, he's pumping his fists, and as he's jumping in the air. In the Eastern Conference Finals, the Pistons again defeated the Bulls, this time in 6 games. By utilizing their Jordan rules method of guarding Jordan, which consisted of double and triple teaming him every time he touched the ball. The Bulls entered the 89-90 season as a team on the rise with their core group of Jordan and young improving players like Pippen and Horace Grant. And under the guidance of new coach Phil Jackson, on March 28, 1990, Jordan scored a career-high 69 points and 117-113 win over the Cavaliers. He averaged a league-leading 33.6 points a game on 52% shooting to go with 7 rebounds a game and 6.3 assists a game, and leading the Bulls to a 55-27 record. They again advanced to the Eastern Conference Finals after beating the Bucks and the 76ers. Despite pushing the series to 7 games, the Bulls lost to the Pistons for a 3rd straight year. So that finishes up the 80s for Jordan. Right? So let's go. We'll go with Hakeem now. Hakeem Olajuwon, right? So Hakeem was born in '63 as well, January 21st in Lagos, Nigeria. He's Nigerian, but I believe he's a U.S. citizen because I think he played for the U.S. team at some point after the original Dream Team. I think the second team he was on, or if that wasn't the second team, it was the third team. 7 foot, 255 pounds. He went to Muslim Teachers College in Lagos, Nigeria. He went to University of Houston from 81 to 84. Again, like you guys already know, he was the first pick overall in the 84 draft, selected by the Houston Rockets. He played from 84 to 2002. Center, obviously 7-footer. He wore number 34. He played from 84 to 2001 with the Rockets, and he played 1 season or maybe 2 seasons with the Toronto Raptors. Excuse me. He's a 2-time NBA champion, 2-time NBA Finals MVP, both in 94 and 95. MVP, NBA Most Valuable Player in 94. He's a 12-time NBA All-Star, 1985 to 1990, 92 through 97. 6-time All-NBA First Team, 87, 88, 89, 93, 94, 97. 3-time All-NBA Third Team, 91, 95, 99. Actually, I didn't say between those 3-time All-NBA Second Team, 86, 90, 96, and then a 3-time All-NBA Third Team, 91, 95, 99. 2-time NBA Defensive Player of the Year, 93 and 94. 5-time NBA All-Defensive First Team, 87, 88, 90, 93, and 94. 4-time NBA All-Defensive Second Team, 85, 91, 96, 97. NBA All-Rookie First Team, 85. IBM Award, 93. 2-time NBA Rebounding Leader, 89, 90. 3-time NBA Blocks Leader, 90, 91, 93. His number 34 is retired by the Houston Rockets. He's a member of the 50th anniversary and the 75th anniversary NBA All-NBA teams. Consensus First Team All-American, 84. NCAA Rebounding Leader, 84. SWC Player of the Year, 84. NCAA Final Four Outstanding Player, 83. His jersey is also retired by his University of Houston Cougar jersey. He's in the Texas Hall of Fame and the Houston Sports Hall of Fame. His career numbers are 26,946 points for 22 points a game, 13,747 rebounds for 11 a game, and 3,830 blocks for 3 blocks a game. And yeah, he was part of the second Dream Team, Atlanta team, 1996. And he got a gold medal there as an American. So as we know, he's born in Nigeria, traveled from his home country to play for the University of Houston under head coach Guy Lewis. His college career for the Cougars included 3 trips to the Final Four. Olajuwon was drafted by the Rockets, first-round pick overall, and a draft that included Jordan, Barkley, and John Stockton. He combined with 7'4" Twin Tower brother Ralph Sampson to form a duo dubbed the Twin Towers. The two led the Rockets to the 86 NBA Finals, where they lost in 6 games to the Celtics. After Sampson was traded to the Golden State Warriors in 88, Olajuwon became the Rockets' undisputed leader. He led the league in rebounding twice and blocked shots 3 times. So, okay, we know all that. So the Rockets had immediate success during Olajuwon's rookie season as their win-loss record improved from 29 to 53 and 83-84 to 48-34 and 84-85. He teamed with 84 Rookie of the Year, 7'4" Ralph Sampson. Olajuwon averaged 20.6 points a game and 12 rebounds and 2.68 blocks in his rookie season. He finished as runner-up to Michael Jordan in 85 Rookie of the Year voting and was the only other rookie to receive any votes. Olajuwon averaged 23.5 points and 11.5 rebounds, along with 3.4 blocks per game during his second pro season. 85-86, the Rockets finished 51-31 and advanced all the way to the Western Conference Finals, where they faced the defending champion Lakers. The Rockets won the series fairly easily, 4-1, shocking the sports world and landing Olajuwon on the cover of Sports Illustrated. He scored 75 points in games 3 and 4, and after the series, Lakers coach made a remark. We tried everything. We put 4 bodies on him. We helped from different angles. He's just a great player, The Rockets advanced to the 86 NBA Finals, where they lost, as you know, I already said that, to the Celtics 4-2. During the 87-88 season, Sampson, who was struggling with knee injuries that would eventually end his career prematurely, was traded to the Golden State Warriors. And 88-89 season was Olajuwon's first full season as the Rockets' undisputed leader. This change also coincided with the hiring of Coach Don Chaney. The Rockets ended the regular season with a record of 45-37, and Olajuwon finished the season as the league leader in rebounds, 13.5 per game, by a full rebound per game over Barkley. His performance was consistent with the average of 24.8 points and 3.4 blocks. Olajuwon posted exceptional playoff numbers of 37.5 points a game and 16.8 rebounds a game, plus a record for points in a 4-game playoff series, 150. Nevertheless, the Rockets were eliminated in the first round by the Supersonics 3-1. Because back then, the NBA first round was the best of 5. First one to win 3. The 89-90 season was a disappointment for the Rockets. They finished the season 41-41. And though they made the playoffs, were eliminated in 4 games by LA. Olajuwon put up one of the most productive defensive seasons by an interior player in the history of the NBA. He won the NBA rebounding crown with 14 rebounds a game, again, this time by an even larger margin, a full 2 rebounds per game over David Robinson, who led the league in blocks by averaging 4.6 per game. Damn, that's a lot. He is the only player since the NBA started recording blocked shots in 73-74 to average 14-plus rebounds and 4.5 blocked shots per game in the same season. In doing so, he joined Kareem Jabbar and Bill Walton as the only players in NBA history at that time to lead the league in rebounding and shot blocking in the same season. Olajuwon also recorded a quadruple-double during the season, becoming only the 3rd player in NBA history to do so. And like I had mentioned, there's 4 guys that have done that. There's Nate Thurman, OG Warrior player, Hakeem Olajuwon, David Robinson, and Alvin Robertson, who also was drafted in this 84 draft. Okay, so that's where the Rockets are at. That's where he was at, ending the decade of the 80s. So Barkley's also born in 63, February 17th. So he's only a couple days older than I think it was Jordan. He's a TV analyst, as we know now, on TNT, right? You see him with Shaq and Kenny Smith and Ernie Johnson. And he came into the league. He had 2 nicknames, right? They call him either Sir Charles, Chuck, or the round mound of rebound, because he was chubby when he came in the league. He played 16 seasons in the NBA, right? So he's born in Leeds, Alabama. Right? 6'6", 252 pounds. So he's listed at 6'6". He played power forward. They say he's really on like 6'4.5". And this guy was a beast, averaging 13 rebounds a game, 12 rebounds a game, 11 rebounds a game for most of his career. I think he even retired with averaging for a career high, career totals. He averaged over 10 rebounds a game for his career average. And so you figure he's listed at 6'6". He's really like 6'4.5", they say. And he's guarding guys that are 6'9", 6'10", 6'11", 7-foot guys. And he was beasting them up. You know what I mean? So he went to Leeds High School in Alabama. He went to the University of Auburn, which is also in Alabama, from 1981 through 84. Again, like I already mentioned a few times, he was the 5th pick overall in the 84 draft, selected by the 76ers. He played from 84 to 2000, power forward. His numbers he wore were 32, 34, 4 and 12, 4 and 14. From 84 to 92 with the Philadelphia 76ers, from 92 to 96 with the Suns, and from 96 to 2000 with the Rockets. He's the MVP in 93, 11-time NBA All-Star from 1987 through 1997, NBA All-Star MVP in 91, 5-time All-NBA First Team 88 through 91 and 93, 5-time All-NBA Second Team 86, 87, 92, 94, 95, All-NBA Third Team once in 96. NBA All-Rookie First Team 85, NBA Rebounding Leader in 88, 3-time IBM Award in 86, 87, 88. He's a member of the NBA Anniversary 50th Team and 75th Team. Number 34 is retired by the by the Philadelphia 76ers. Phoenix Suns, Ring of Honor, third team All-American in ABC in 84, SEC Player of the Year in 84, first team All SCE 84, second team All SEC 84, 83, 82, 84. 82 and 83. Sorry. SEC Tournament MVP 84. His number 34 is retired by the University of Auburn Tigers. Okay. Points, 23,757 points lifetime with a 22-point average. Oh, I was way off on the rebounds. He has 12,546 rebounds for a career average of 11.7. I'm over here saying 10. He's almost got 12. And he's got 4,215 assists for about four assists a game. Right? We know he was part of the 92 Olympic team, the Dream Team, and he also was the Dream Team 2 in Atlanta. Right? So Barkley left before his final year at Auburn and made himself eligible for the 84 NBA draft. Okay, we already know he was picked two picks behind Jordan. He joined a veteran team that included Dr. J, Julius Erving, Moses Malone, and Maurice Cheeks, players who took Philly to the 83 NBA championship. Under the tutelage of Moses Malone, Barkley was able to manage his weight and learn to prepare and condition himself properly for games. Barkley cited Malone as the most influential player of his career, and he often referred to him as Dad. He averaged 14 points a game and 8.6 rebounds per game during the regular season of his rookie year, and he earned the berth on the all-rookie NBA team 85. In the postseason, the Sixers advanced to the Eastern Conference Finals, but were defeated in 5 games by the Celtics. As a rookie in the postseason, Barkley averaged 15 points a game and 11 rebounds per game. During his second year, Barkley improved his game under the leadership of Moses Malone during the offseason with his workouts. In the process, he became the team's leading rebounder and number 2 scorer, averaging 20 points and almost 13 rebounds a game. He became the Sixers' starting power forward and helped lead his team into the playoffs, averaging 25 points on 57% shooting from the field and almost 16 rebounds per game. Despite his efforts, Philly was defeated 4-3 by the Bucks in the Eastern Conference semifinals. He was named to the NBA All-Second Team. Before the 86-87 season, Moses Malone was traded to the Washington Bullets, and Barkley began to assume control as the team leader. On February 4th, 86, Barkley recorded 34 points, 10 rebounds, and a career-high 14 assists in a 125-121 loss to the Pacers. On March 20th, 1987, Barkley scored 26 points, 25 rebounds, career-high tying 16 offensive rebounds, 9 assists, and a 116-106 win over the Denver Nuggets. He earned his first and only rebounding title, averaging 14.6 rebounds per game, and also led the league in offensive rebounds with 5.7 per game. He averaged 23 points a game on 60% shooting, earning him his first trip to an NBA All-Star and NBA second-team honors for the second straight season to the Bucks in a 5-game first-round playoff series. The following season, Dr. J announced his retirement, and Barkley became the Sixers franchise player. On November 30th, 1988, Barkley recorded 41 points and 22 rebounds and 5 assists, 6 steals, and a 114-106 win over the Blazers. Playing in 80 games and getting 300 more minutes than his nearest teammate, Barkley had his most productive season, averaging 28.3 points on 59% shooting and 12 rebounds per game. He appeared in the second All-Star game and was named to the All-NBA first team for the first time in his career. His celebrity status as a Sixers franchise player led to his first appearance on the cover of Sports Illustrated. For the first time since the 74-75 season, however, the 76ers failed to make the playoffs. In the 88-89 season, Barkley continued to play well, averaging 26 points a game on 58% shooting and 12.5 rebounds per game. He earned his 3rd straight All-Star appearance and was named to the All-NBA first team for the 2nd straight season. Despite Barkley contributing 27 points on 64% and 11.7 rebounds and 5.3 assists per game, the 76ers were swept in the first round of the playoffs by the Knicks. During the 89-90 season, despite receiving more first-place votes, Barkley finished second in MVP voting behind the LA Lakers' Magic Johnson. He was named Player of the Year by the Sporting News and Basketball Weekly. He averaged 25 points a game, 11.5 rebounds per game, and a career-high 60% shooting. He was named to the All-NBA First Team for the third consecutive year and earned his fourth All-Star selection. He helped Philly win 53 regular season games, only to lose to the Bulls in a 5-game Eastern Conference semifinal series. Barkley averaged 24.7 points and 15.5 rebounds in another postseason loss. His exceptional play continued into a seventh season where he averaged 27.6 points on 57% shooting and 10 rebounds per game. His fifth straight All-Star game appearance proved to be his best yet. He led the East to a 116-114 win over the West with 17 points and 22 rebounds, the most rebounds in an All-Star game since Wilt Chamberlain recorded 22 and 67. Barkley was presented with the MVP honors at the All-Star game and at the end of the season, named to the All-NBA First Team for the fourth straight season. That year, when the New York Times asked the San Antonio Spurs center David Robinson if he would choose Barkley or Jordan for his side in a hypothetical pickup game, Robinson said, "I would pick Barkley. When he is on his game, I think he's the biggest impact ever." In the playoffs, Philly lost again to the Bulls in the Eastern Conference Finals, with Barkley contributing 25 points a game and 10.5 rebounds per game. So that's the 80s statistics for Barkley, and a little bit of background on Barkley, right? Barkley's been through some shit. He's had spitting incidences, and he's had fights on the court. He got into a Shaq one time. He threw the ball at Shaq. He got into it, I think, with Beer Lambier one time. They started getting into it. So Barkley was a beast, man. He's my favorite player all time. You know what I'm saying? Barkley's my favorite player all time, no doubt. Bendiciones, Big Lou, our respects always. Who's that? Edwin? Igualmente. So that's a little bit about the 84 draft picks, the top three out of 5 picks that year that were some bad arse mofos, right? Jordan, the greatest shooting guard ever. Like I said earlier, a lot of people got him as the GOAT of basketball, period, overall. Me personally, I got him number 2. I got Kareem number 1. But he done so much, he was a hell of a defensive player that people seem to pass on that. They don't talk about that so much with him. It's always that he's a prolific scorer and, scorer at will, but he was a hell of a defensive player. Akeem Olajuwon, the center position, there's so many. If you, like my list of my top 10 players all time, I have Olajuwon. Well, I made an exception with 10. With number 10, I put 10A, Tim Duncan, 10B, Akeem Olajuwon. But if you break it down, you got Bill Russell, you got Wilt Chamberlain, you got Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, you got Shaq. Right? You got those guys are in the top 10 easy. And then you got, like I said, you can put Tim Duncan at 10, or you could put Olajuwon at 10, or maybe Olajuwon's 11, but he's definitely one of the greatest top centers of all time. He's definitely in the top 10, easy. He's easy in the top 10, right? Easy. Keep Olajuwon easy. And then Barkley, me personally, like I said, he's my favorite player all time, but because the fact that he don't have a championship, that screws it up for him. You know what I'm saying? As far as when it goes down in the the books and shit, he don't have a championship. So for Barkley, you got Giannis. Giannis, the Greek Freak, has already accomplished a lot of stuff in his short career. Then you got Kevin Garnett, you got Tim Duncan. Some people, throw Karl Malone around up there too. He don't have no rings either. Me personally, I don't like talking about Karl Malone. He's a weirdo. He likes to mess with young people. I don't mess with him. You got Kevin McHale, Dennis Rodman you could put up in there, Chris Webber. Definitely those guys ain't above Barkley though. Rodman and Webber, Willis Reed, those guys ain't above Barkley. I don't believe so. You know what I mean? But just for the fact that he was a beast and the fact that he was only 6'6", even if he was okay, so he's listed at 6'6", but they say he's really only 6'4.5". But even if he really was 6'6", that's the same height as Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant. They're playing the two guard out on the wing. This guy's playing down low where the centers and the big boys roll, right? And he's grabbing 14, 15, 16 rebounds a game. He got 22 rebounds a game a couple of different times. His lifetime average game for rebounds is almost 12. And he's only 6'6". You know what I mean? You know, it's a different game now. Now you can be 6'6" and be a power forward and be a center. Like Draymond Green, they throw him down as a center a lot. He's listed as 6'7", but you could say he's 6'6". You know what I mean? And because the style of basketball now is different. It's a quick pace. Everybody's shooting threes. You know what I mean? A lot of guys catch the long rebounds from the threes a lot. You know what I mean? Like Westbrook, they position yourself to get those rebounds. You know what I mean? So the game's changed. You know what I mean? But if you look at it from back then, 6'6". Okay, so let's go over some of the power forwards at that time. Karl Malone, 6'9". Kevin McHale, 6'10". Bill Laimbeer, 6'11", right? Otis Thorpe, 6'10". Thurl Bailey, 6'11". Kevin Willis, 7 foot, right? Buck Williams was only 6'8", though. He played power forward. Who else you had back then? Cliff Robinson, 6'11", right? Who else? AC Green, 6'9". Kurt Rambis, 6'9", right? Let me see who else was around back then. Charles Oakley was 6'8", but he was a beast too, right? 6'8" is a lot, 2 inches taller than 6'6", but still not for being a power forward. He made up for it. These guys made up for it with bulk and muscle. You know what I'm saying? With just pure, just beastie. Larry Nance was 6'11". John L. Williams was 6'11". You know what I mean? Who else was power forward back then? But you had Rick Mahorn, John Sally. There's a few other ones. I can't think of all of them right now, but you get the gist of what I'm saying, right? 6'6" is very small. And this dude, like I said, he was a beast, averaging 24 points a game, 26 points a game, to go along with 13.5 rebounds, 14.5 rebounds. You know what I mean? And if you watch him back then too, a lot of times he would either catch the rebound on the opposite end, the defensive end, and then take it coast to coast and dunk it. You know what I mean? I've seen a lot of these younger players. They're seeing the footage of him doing some of this stuff, and they're like, "Whoa!" You know what I mean? Because they didn't know he could do all that. So it is what it is, right? But he's a beast. Barkley's a beast. Olajuwon's a beast. Michael Jordan definitely a beast. They're all beasts from 1984 draft. You know what I mean? So just because of those three players alone, and then you got John Stockton, who's an all-time leader in assists, and I think he's all-time leader in steals as well. He got drafted in '84. And then I went over the list of all the other known guys. Let me see. 1984 NBA draft. I'm going to run this down to you guys real quick. Who else was on that 84 draft, right? So we know already Olajuwon was first. So Olajuwon was first. Sam Bowie was second, who was one of the biggest busts in history. Jordan third. Sam Perkins fourth. Charles Barkley fifth. Alvin Robertson seventh. Otis Thorpe ninth. Kevin Willis 11th. Jay Humphries 13th. Michael Cage 14th. John Stockton 16th. Vern Fleming 18th. Tony Campbell 20th. I think that's about it. Those are a lot of beefy players I just named right now. Michael Cage, he plays center too and power forward. He was only 6'9". He had about 3 or 4 good seasons where he averaged 12.5 rebounds a game. You know what I mean? Allen Robertson was picked. So John Stockton was picked 16th from Gonzaga, right? Kevin Willis, another beefy. When it was for a while there, it was It was Dennis Rodman, number one in rebounding, and Kevin Willis would be second. Rodman would have like 16, 17 rebounds a game. I even think he got 18 a year or two. Kevin Willis would be second with like 13 a game for a couple years there. Otis Thorpe, another guy used to rebound playing alongside Olajuwon when he caught those titles. Allen Robertson is he's only 6'4", I believe. He got drafted by the Spurs and he played with the Bucks. But along with Olajuwon, David Robinson, and Nate Thurman, those guys are all centers. This guy's only 6'4", a guard. He also is one of 4 players to record a quadruple double. So that means that you average at least 10 points a game, 10 rebounds a game, 10 assists a game, and then either 10 blocks or 10 steals, right? And those 4 guys are the only ones that ever do that in NBA history. So that's a big I believe that's a big accomplishment right there in itself. You know what I mean? So, and like I had mentioned earlier, it's always asked, what's the greatest draft class? Was it 1984, this one? Or was it 96 with Kobe Bryant and Allen Iverson and Ray Allen and Marcus Camby, Antoine Walker, Jermaine O'Neal, Walter McCarty, Stephon Marbury, Kerry Kittles, right? Or 2003, LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, Carmelo Anthony. You know what I mean? That draft, though, once you get out of like the first 7 or whatever, there really ain't no, or first 5, there really ain't nobody else. But then you also, Peja Stojakovic also was in 96. So there's a lot of good guys there. Lou, I'm a major fan. I was in MRE chat yesterday. Why was Chicago stolen valor talking crap to you, Holmes? Because he's a fraud. He's a mark. You know what I mean? He's a straight mark. You know what I mean? But he did a good job, though. He did a good video yesterday. I'll admit, great video. Making fun of people's looks, like always. Everybody's a bitch. Everybody's a punk. He'll whoop everybody's ass, but you don't know what he looks like. He don't show himself. You know what I mean? He's a fraud, bro. Straight up. You want to come on? I dropped the link. You want to come on in, Luis? I dropped the link for anybody that wants to come on in. You're a major fan. Who are you a major fan of? Of basketball? I'm busy tonight, but maybe next to me, homie. And where you from, Luis? So anyways, I'm probably going to try to do something on. So you got right now in baseball, you got the NLCS, the National League Championship Series, which is the Padres and the I think it's the Padres and the Phillies, right? The National League Series. And then in the American League Series, it's the Yankees and the Astros. I think it's the Padres. 2022 NLCS.
Tomorrow, the Padres will play the Phillies at 4:37 p.m.
So right now it's tied up.
The Phillies lost to the Padres 8-5. The Padres will play the Phillies on Saturday at 4:45 p.m.
So there it is there. It's one game each. Game 3 will be tomorrow, like they said. Right? And then the ALCS, I think it's also, I think the ALCS is let me see. I think it's so they're down. I think the Yankees are down 2-0. Yeah, the Yankees are down 2-0. And the Yankees got a stacked ass team too. They got. I didn't know this till because I'll be honest. The last couple of years with COVID, well, actually longer than that. Baseball, I don't really get into no more until like playoff time. And usually, if I'm in the pen, I watch it in my cell. But I usually try to catch the World Series games. But like I said, I'll watch the World Series games no matter what. But when I'm in the pen, I usually watch the baseball games. If there ain't nothing else on, then I'll watch a regular game. But usually it's playoff games. And I haven't really been really into it since probably the early mid 90s, right? And the Yankees, though, this is how it's been the last few years, right? Well, the Yankees it's been like that with the Yankees for a while, where a lot of guys will go to the Yankees and sign for big bucks because they got big bucks to spend, right? But now the last few years, it's been the Boston Red Sox been doing that same deal, and the Dodgers been doing that same type of thing. But I wasn't aware that Anthony Rizzo was over there in New York with the Yankees. I knew that Judd was there, and I knew Stanton was there. Same thing with Stanton. He went over there. Stanton, Giancarlo, he went over there to sign with them. And then Aaron Judd was a rookie through them. And then Gary Sanchez was there. I don't know what happened to Gary Sanchez. And then Rizzo's over there now. Rizzo came from the Cubs, right? I guess the Cubs. Well, he was with the Cubs. I don't know if he went somewhere else before going to the Yankees, but for the longest, they were getting Jason Giambi. They got Scott Brosius. Johnny Damon went over there. A-Rod went there. A lot of the pitchers went there. David Wells. Who else went over there? Jimmy Key. I think Jimmy Key went over there. I think Roger Clemens went there too, didn't he? There's a few players over the years that went there to sign with bigger money, right? And it's like that with the Dodgers now and the Red Sox for a little while as well. But the way they got it with the Yankees signing all these players, it's like the fans think it's automatic. They're going to win every year. And New York fans are kind of rough too, so they start getting pissed at the organization, as far as the front office. The GM, the general manager, which I don't know if it's still Brian Cashman or not. And then they get upset with the players after a while. You know what I mean? So it's just, it is what it is. You know what I mean? But I might drop something about maybe something on the next Game 3 with the baseball. If not, then I'll definitely make something for the World Series. But I got so much things to do videos on as far as content with sports, because you can never run out of content when it comes to sports. Just no way, right? So I got the profiles, what I call those, the series profiles, the profiles on players. That's the series that I'm doing. Also got a series on real fucking American heroes that have the fucking Purple Heart for real. I know phony bullshit. You know what I'm saying? I done series. I started series on those. I did it on the Tuscany World War II fighter pilots. I did one on Master Sergeant Benitez. I did one on Sergeant First Class Otero Barreto, Puerto Rican Rambo. I'm also going to do something. I'm going to break down. I don't know yet how I'm going to do it exactly. If I'm going to do it by the greatest teams as far as my all-time greats of baseball, Latinos team, and then my all-time black team and my all-time white team. I don't know yet if I'm going to do it like that, or am I just going to, I'm not sure when it comes to that. But I got a series on Bay Area players, because where I'm from, boxers, anywhere from 3 to 4 players from basketball. That's from the Oakland, Alameda area. 3 to 4 basketball players, 3 to 4 baseball players, 3 to 4 football players, and then 3 to 4 boxers that are from the Bay Area. I got a series on that I'm going to do. I also got another when it comes to pro wrestling, besides the profiles I'm going to do, I got I'm going to do a video on the guys that are out of Minnesota, pro wrestlers. And I'm going to do another one on the guys that came from West Texas State, from Texas, that that played for Texas, West Texas State, or not or, and I want to throw in some guys that are from Texas as well, because some of the greatest wrestlers are from Texas, such as Stone Cold, Undertaker. You know, we know the Von Erichs are from there. You know, Dusty Rhodes, Bruiser Brody, um, Blackjack Mulligan, Barry Windham, Tully Blanchard, Manny Fernandez, Tito Santana. Those guys played on that college team. Dusty Rhodes, Dickie Murdoch, I think Dickie Slater as well. Terry Funk, the Funk Brothers. They're all also on that list. And then the Minnesota guys, I don't know if you guys are aware, those Minnesota guys actually either went to high school together or they went to rival high schools where they knew each other growing up in sports. And that is the Road Warriors, Barry Darsow, who was one and a half of the Demolition, Ravishing Rick Rude, Mr. Perfect, Larry Henning, and his father, Larry Henning is Kurt's dad. Excuse me, I called Mr. Perfect Larry Henning, Kurt Henning. And then you got Larry Henning, and you got Minnesota Wrecking Crew. You got Ric Flair came out of there originally. You got Vern Gagne and his son Greg Gagne. You got Scott Norton. You got John Nord. You got Wayne Bloom. You got the Z-Man. You got Jumping Jim Brunzell. These are all Minnesota guys. So there's, like I said, there's a lot of content in sports, but then I'm also doing other videos as well. I dropped that video on John Gotti Jr. the other day. I don't really dig the crap they talk about him. I don't believe it's true on a lot of that stuff, as far as, you know, they try to say was a dumb fella and this and that. I don't buy that at all. I think he was given, he went into a messed up situation from the beginning, and he didn't do too bad, because look, I really believe that he's even living off money that he made way back then, now to this day. Now that could be properties he's making money off of, whatever, but the man is not dumb. He's a smart business dude. He knows what he's doing. You know, I don't really touch too much about, other things when it comes to that. But I did a couple videos on commitment and loyalty, and what that meant was when people join organizations, you can't say, oh, they threw me under the bus, and I would just, they took everything from me, because at the end of the day, you didn't take an oath to that person. You know what I mean? Then I did some videos also on San Quentin and BVI. And then I'm going to do one next on Solano. And then probably do one on Pleasant Valley. And then do one on Delano. Do one on Avenal. Do one on Corcoran. Do one on Soledad. Do one on Susanville. And then I done a few other things like little prison stories and stuff. So I'm all over the place. Basically, whatever I'm feeling that day is what I go with. You know what I'm saying? That's really how it boils down to. I do shorts on all kinds of different things. RIP, different sports players, different actors. Might just be a little story that I put out there. Or it might just be a comment about my team or what's going on in sports. Things like that. So I appreciate everybody that stopped in tonight. I appreciate everybody that will watch this video and come back and watch it later. I appreciate everybody, subscribers. And don't trip, potato chip. That's your favorite beanie mofo, fresh off the banana boat. You feel me? And I'm not letting none of these suckers mess with my pep and my step. Catch my drift? You know what I'm saying? I can't call it like an alcoholic, but you know what? I'm not going to be going back with some fucking phantom ass motherfucker that ain't about shit. You know what I mean? Straight up. So it is what it is. And Big Lou's going to be on the grind. And I spoke to some people today, and we're going to be on the move with some different things, to lift different collabing and things like that. So networking and things like that. You know what I mean? So with that being said, again, I appreciate everybody that stopped by. And too bad, Luis, you couldn't come on, man. I was ready to drop the link. You know what I mean? But yeah, once again, I appreciate everybody stopping by. I got to get up early tomorrow. I got to go get some blood work done. And I got to get up early. So It's already like 11 o'clock over here in the West. So again, appreciate everybody for stopping in, spending time here with me tonight on both videos. And again, I appreciate everybody, and thanks. Shout out ahead to everybody that's going to come and watch the video. Also, shouts out to Harvey Talks Prison. Go check out his channel. Check out Luke G TV channel. Check out Doing Time with Big Weavy. Also check out Stay Awake TV. Frank's Positive Vibes. Vegas Prison Stories. And Off the Yard with Big Lance. Yard Recall with Buzz. Australian Prison Stories with Adam. Check out Federal Prison Talk with Sean. Check out New Age Plug. Check out Just Chillin'. And hope I didn't forget anybody. Oh, Sea Dog and Cooper podcast. Check out Sea Dog. And I think I got everybody. Those are pretty much everybody from our little circle. So with that being said, tapping out. Big Lou.